Rants. Like and subscribe. And I see we're going back to the animal kingdom, right? I see we're going back, right? If you guys haven't had a chance, please go check out that McGruff the Crime Dog video, right? But we're gonna do a legend today. Fozzie the Bear. I know you guys remember him from the Muppets, right? He is a legendary character. You know, legend, right? And a lot of you guys, you don't know the Fozzie stories. You know, you really don't know them. Like the drug addiction, the blackballing, the beef with Gucci Mane in 1017. But we're going to get into all that in this video. All right? You better believe that. We're going to get into all that, right? But, of course, you know, like I do in all my videos, I got to start from the beginning. I got to, right? And you got to understand, right? We never know the mothers of these animals because it's wildlife. Yes, marriage and relationships, they're not the norm in the animal kingdom. No. See, you guys, you guys watch these movies, you know, you probably watch the Goofy movie too much, right? And you think that all these animals, no, that's a movie. No. But we definitely know Fozzie's father. Oh, you better believe that. Oh, you better believe that. Yeah, Fozzie's father. Fozzie's father is Bear. That's his name. Bear. Yep. Bear. And you've seen Bear in endless things. You've seen him in Grizzly Falls, the 1999 movie. How about the 1988 biopic, The Bear? Yeah. You forgot, right? Disney even did a movie based off the Bear's life. You know, this is Bear. And please understand this, okay? The bears are the biggest nepotistic creatures in the animal Hollywood, okay? In the whole animal kingdom, for real. And they're all related. They're all bullies. And they're not going to like that I'm telling you guys this right now, but nobody likes working with them. But every so often, you're going to need a bear for your project. And boom, you're going to have to call them. And they're going to give you a difficult time. It's going to be a high price and everything, of course. But you need them. And they understand that. Bear has always put that in his kids and whatnot. And let's discuss his kids. Let's discuss Bear's kids. You got Yogi Bear. I know you guys remember Yogi Bear, right? You got Smokey. Yeah, you guys remember Smokey the Bear? Now you got Fozzie, of course. Of course, you got Fozzie. And then you got the youngest brother, whom is also the biggest. And that's my man, Bobo the Bear. You guys probably don't remember Bobo, but he's going to be mentioned a lot in this episode, right? Because he's also on the Muppets. Fozzie put him on too. That's Bobo the Bear, the younger brother, right? But you have to understand, okay? The family bracket, you know, like the tree of the bears and their cousins, it's a long list, okay? And even go to other countries. But, I mean, like, we can start with the UK for real. You got Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. You got Peddington. Bet you guys forgot about him. What about Rupert? Yeah, Rupert. He used to do the backflip out of the swing back in the day. Yeah. And then you got the American cousins, you know, Baloo from the Jungle Book. You got, now, don't hold Rants to this. Is it the Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears? But we got them too. I'm going to say Berenstain Bears. That's what I grew up saying. The Berenstain Bears. You got the Care Bears. Yeah. What about Little Bear? You guys forgot about Little Bear, right? They're all related. Yeah. The Panda from Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, had his own movie, right? Yep. What about Lotso from Toy Story? Remember he was the villain? That's my man. He actually deserves his own episode. Yeah, his episodes are definitely coming soon. Oh, what about Ted? I bet you guys remember Ted, right? Yeah, Ted. These bears are all related. I just named a bunch of them. Now you see how it works, right? You know, it's hard for a lion. Like, yeah, they do dogs, you know, some cats, but it's hard for like a lion. It's hard for a monkey to get a good job when you got all these bears monopolizing animal Hollywood. Yeah, but let's stay on Fozzie, right? What about, you guys remember the baby years? They showed it, Muppet Babies, right? you guys remember. You guys remember Fozzie, right? Yeah, he had the propeller hat on with the onesie. Yeah, he wanted to be a famous stand-up comedian then. You know, always telling his jokes, and he would be running away from ghosts and monsters and thunder and lightning and stuff like that. He was scared of stuff. He was Fonzie. He was a kid, though. You know? And he always be like, yeah, you know, he'll tell like a bad why did the chicken cross the road joke, right? And he'll get booed, and then they'll throw tomatoes at his face. This is when they were kids. Yeah. He had the bear that he carried around named Teddy. That was a homage to his father, of course, the first bear in the industry. But, I mean, you know, who got him the job? Bear did, of course. So, you know how that go, right? And then, you guys remember him, right? On the Muppet Variety Show. Now, the Muppets had a 5-season run of a variety show in the mid-70s. And it was legendary. I used to watch this on TV Land back in the day. Fozzie was the main comedian on the show. Clearly, I know you guys, I didn't want to mention his name, Lord knows. Fozzie's going to be mad I mentioned him. I know you guys probably like Kermit. We know. I like Gonzo. I don't got a problem with Gonzo. You guys might even like Miss Piggy, you know. But Fozzie was writing a lot of jokes on the show. See, understand this, right? Similar to Carrot Top, Fozzie got popular and famous by doing bad comedy. Yeah, bad comedy. It worked out for him. And I mean, Fozzie goes on to play legendary characters on this show. He played the Patrol Bear, Little John, Super Fozzie, El Sleazo, the bartender, when he was passing the drinks out. And another quick story. I know he didn't want me to share this. Fozzie actually he got cut on the final cut of Saturday Night Live, right? He was supposed to be a member of the original cast, but Garrett Morris was chose over him, you know? And he always made it seem like it was they got something against animals, you know? And of course, Papa Bear gets involved now. He trying to sue SNL. Before they even start their first show, he trying to get a lawsuit out. You know, and they settled with the Bears. They settled with the Bears because the Bears are bullies, right? But let's get back to the story. Right? So they do the variety show, right? And after the Muppets do the variety show, they do a movie in 1979. The Muppet Movie. It's a hit. Okay? In 1981, they do The Great Muppet Caper. In 1984, they do The Muppets Take Manhattan. They do a few Christmas movies. They do The Muppets Christmas Carol, a Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, A Muppet Christmas, Letters to Santa. What about Muppet Treasure Island, 96? Or the classic Muppets from Space. I know you guys forgot about Muppets Most Wanted, the most recent installment in 2014. Or this, I know you guys probably really forgot about this. The Muppets Wizard of Oz, featuring Ashanti as Dorothy. Yes, you see it. And Fozzie played the lion. And you know how many lions was upset at that? But see, that's the bears doing what they do best. You know, using their influence to get jobs for their kids. And I mean, that's what they do, you know? And the success from all of these movies is a big reason you rarely see the Muppets now. They're rich. They're filthy rich. I mean, even Animal. Y'all remember Animal? He loves uppers. It's his drug of choice. He's filthy rich. He was in the movies. So imagine Fozzie, right? He's clearly the most successful bear out of the family. At least on this side of the water, because you know his cousin Winnie the Pooh, you know he's a rival. He's a rival. And they talk about it all the time at the family reunions too. It's so funny, you know? But it's a well-known fact, right? That Fozzie is still a poppin' comedian, right? You know, and he was on Fallon, as you guys can see right there. And like I said, he bombs, but people loves him. It's similar to Carrot Top, except people actually like Fozzie. People like him. And, you know, with the whole beef with SNL, of course, the blackballing, they blackballed the Bears from SNL. But that was lifted. And the Muppets and Fozzie was featured on a 2011 Christmas episode, as you can see. Yep. But yeah, Fozzie, he was at the famous Comedy Store in West Hollywood. He actually introduced me to Misty Shore, Pauly Shore's mother, that owned the Comedy Store. He introduced me personally. You know? And he has endless stand-up videos on YouTube. As a matter of fact, this is a classic one with Bobo, right? And let me give y'all some of Fozzie's comedy, right? Because I don't think y'all get it, right? Fozzie would get on stage, right, and hit you with a joke like, "Hey everybody, I know most people think taking a nice Sunday drive is relaxing, but when I get home, I'm exhausted. Ha! Get it? That joke is terrific. Waka waka waka." You know, that's what he do. Like, I know a mechanic who can tell what's wrong with any car just by listening to it. He's a real engineer. Ha! Get it? Engineer? Waka waka waka. What a gas. That's what he do. He makes corny jokes, but he's a bear. What you gonna do, not laugh and then he get aggressive? Oh, you don't want to see Fozzie when he get aggressive. Oh, but we will get on it. Don't worry. We will get on it. Yeah, but as you can see, my man Bobo kicked him off the stage. That's his younger brother was like, "Look, you gotta get Fozzie. I'm sorry. It's not working out tonight. You embarrassing." And then the crowd starts cracking up at Bobo. He was like, "What? Embarrassing." Embarrassing, because that's the joke. Bear, right? And everybody think that's funny. And Fozzie's like, "I just don't get it." But Fozzie is still rich, so he don't care. Fozzie really believes he's funny. And can't nobody tell him different. Especially not a human. Okay? Now I guess it's time we get into the Cocaine Bear part of the story. Now, understand this. There was a movie done in recent years called Cocaine Bear. And they said it was based on a true story. And it is. It is. But it's not the true story you think. This is actually based on random cocaine stories from Fozzie the Bear during his stand-up days. And, well, stand-up days in the 70s. Let's just get right into it, right? Because you guys been here this long, right? So, by now, I guess it's no secret. During Fozzie's priming the Muppets, right? Doing a variety show, of course. A lot of people were doing variety shows, right? And he's doing stand-up in a comedy store. He's meeting other comedians, and he meets and forms a relationship with Richard Pryor, as you guys can see in the photo, right? And I actually asked Paul Mooney personally, because it's rumored that Fozzie helped write, for the Richard Pryor show. And I asked Paul Mooney personally before he passed. And he told me, he was like, Rants, N-word, please. You think we really let Fozzie write for a show? The Bear? Fozzie the Bear? Negro, please. And I couldn't believe it. Because, I had to believe him because he told me. But after giving Paul Mooney a couple glasses of cognac, he was drunk. He was like, yeah, hell yeah, that Bear he wrote everything. He wrote everything for the damn show. Richard ain't that funny. Fozzie's the funny one. And I had to believe Paul when he was drunk. Because I always thought that Fozzie was writing for Richard anyway. If you really listen to the jokes and the execution, Richard just says them better. And that's why it's funny, But nonetheless, though, you see, Fozzie had an issue, man. He had a substance abuse problem. What you want me to say, man? What you want me to say? You see him with Richard? You see him with Chris Farley? Oh my gosh, they talking about Cocaine Bear? Really? That's what the movie's about. That's what the movie's about right there. Them two. And on a snow hill, just sliding, But let's get to the beef with Gucci Mane and 1017 now. Okay, I don't know. You guys may or may not be familiar with hip hop music, right? And it's okay. I'm just going to inform you what happened real quick, right? In 2006, right? There's an Atlanta rap artist by the name of Gucci Mane, okay? He comes out with an album called, let's just say, Hard to Spill. But you see the cover right there. I just can't say that word, right? And throughout this album, he is dissing, at the time, his rival, Young Jeezy's dissing him throughout the album, right? But there's a song on there, track 11. It's a song called Everybody Know Me. Okay? And I challenge you guys to, just go on YouTube and listen to the song so you guys can understand where the story is going, right? Because, of course, Gucci takes his jabs at Young Jeezy, of course, and Big Cat. That's his former record label boss, right? But it's a line. And I'm going to show you guys. It's a line, right? Where Gucci says... And I quote, "See, I don't fight fair. Nah, I don't fight fair. Gucci Mane to put that in intensive care. Matter of fact, if you see me fight a grizzly bear, I suggest that you help the redacted grizzly bear." And when I heard these lyrics, right, and I brought them to Fozzie's attention, like I said, I know these people personally. Well, in this case, animals. I know them animally. Because I guess you can't say personally because they're not people. I know them animally. I've been to Bear's forest and ate fresh berries with them. Drank creek water. I risked worms in my gut for these stories so I can give them to YouTube, right? And I'll deal with the consequences if they get upset. But nonetheless, though, right? Gucci Mane says those lines, right? And like I said, I brought it to Fozzie's attention, right? And he brushed it off because, see, he understands lions tend to get a better reputation, as far as, in the animal kingdom. But he already know at the end what his family is capable of. So he brushed it off, right? But then I brought this person to his attention. And he was like, who is this? Who is this, Rants? And I was like, oh, you don't know who that is? That's Gucci Mane's associate, Waka Flocka Flame. And this is when Fonzie was like, oh, no, this dude is really trying to get my attention. So, Fozzie called Gucci up personally, balls to balls, right? I was there, okay? This is exclusive. You guys never heard this before, right? He called him personally just to iron out all the wrinkles, right? And Walker gets on the phone and tells him, I'm not changing my name. Like, you a bear. You ain't a real Zone 6 dude. You ain't from Riverdale like me. You know, Walker's on there showing off, right? He's showing off. And he's telling Fozzie what he gonna do to him when he see him. You know, and Gucci gets on the phone, right? And says the line again. He repeated the lyric. He was like, matter of fact, if you see me fighting a grizzly bear, I suggest that you help the redacted grizzly bear. Now, little did Gucci and Walker know that gangster stuff is cool and it works with humans. It's going to work with a human being, right? But these creatures eat pounds of fresh berries and they hibernate. So, what if I told you Gucci and Walker was in Magic City one night, right? And Fozzie and the family came to talk to Gucci. And let's just say, thank God nobody or no animal passed. But I will say that Bobo had to be tranquilized that night. He was in a comatose state for 2 weeks. He's good now. I saw him the other day. We had some blackberries. But yeah. Now, I mean, Fozzie, of course, he hasn't changed. He hasn't really aged. As you can see, he's gotten some face surgery done. But who hasn't in Hollywood? You know, with the exception of Bobo. He hasn't. But you get what I'm saying. And Fozzie's still a comedian. He's still touring the world, you know. He's doing his comedy and he's living off those 15 movies I named earlier. He's already did his work, you know. But yeah, that's Fozzie Bear, man. And I mean, like I said, him and Gucci and Walker, they squashed it. There's no more beef with them no more. You know, but it gets serious, man, because like I said, these are bears, you know. I know you see them on TV. They look like they cool and everything, but they are bears, okay? They're aggressive animals and they don't play. And they take that nepotism stuff hard in Hollywood. You will not get a job messing around with them. Like and subscribe, man. Randumb Rants.